the two steps. Do you know what's funny? What's funny is that every single time a course creator comes to me, the person is like, oh my gosh, I need to create a blog. Oh my gosh, I need to start doing social media on Twitter, on Facebook, on like Instagram, whatever it means, right? And it's funny because I see them like just posting like 10 times a day and like doing all of the stuff. But at the end, even if people spend so much time trying to kind of get their courses, quote unquote, out there, it doesn't pay off. Like they don't make many sales and it just doesn't work out. Reason being is because, you don't need to have a blog, you don't need to have a podcast. So that's what I'm saying. You don't need to have like different like 10,000 things. And I'm gonna be making a drawing over here to gonna illustrate what you should be doing instead. Meaning, it is not that a blog is useless or it is not that social media doesn't work. It is that before you even consider using that, you should do something else first. You need to have the key pillars in place to sustain you doing that. So what are the two steps? Well, it's quite simple actually. It's so obvious that some people just overlook it. You need two key pieces in your machine, quote unquote, to work, okay? You need to have an engine, okay? You need to have an engine, and you need to put gasoline into the engine. That's it. There is nothing else. Very, very simple. Two key things, and out of this, you just start making cash, right? Now, what do I mean by engine and gasoline? This kind of sounds weird, I know. So the gasoline is the attention of your market. The gasoline is the Facebook ads, the YouTube ads, Google AdWords, whatever you use to advertise yourself. This is the way you use to get attention, okay? The ways you get attention from your target market. And then the engine, the engine is actually the way for you to turn the attention into, guess what? Sales. Well, first of all, obviously trust, right? That relationship with people, and then sales and cash and good stuff. So here's the deal. How do you actually build that out? How do you actually, what are some strategies to building that out properly? Well, I'm gonna split up the screen here. It looks kind of cool. So here's how it works. I like to imagine this like a stack, meaning the engine is your funnel, right? The series of emails you're sending out. So I want you to think of this like this. Imagine this is an email sequence, okay? This animal sequence, number one, okay? A bunch of emails, you put them here, that's cool. And thanks to this email sequence, now you're able to put, I don't know, let's say $1,000 on paid traffic, $1,000 on ads, and then you can get, $2,000 back. Make sense? That's how I want you to think of it, right? You put the gasoline into the engine and it works out. Now, what so many people do here to kind of have a good email sequence, it's funny because what they do is just plain stupid. Like, let's face it, they try to just, listen, here's the deal. Like, they try to kind of push people, which doesn't work. Like, in 2018, you can just not push people to buy. They use like 90% discounts and pretty much just scarcity, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying it doesn't work, because obviously if you make a 90% discount, people are gonna buy. And if you say, hey, I'm running out of courses, even though they're digital, and you have 10 seconds to buy, obviously people are gonna buy. But is that the kind of business you wanna have? Meaning, for sure, you're gonna make some sales, you're gonna make quick cash, but here's the deal, that cash will not last long. It's not a long-term strategy. You need to be authentic, meaning you cannot just be like pushing people, offering huge discounts. That's not how you build out trust. That's not how you build out a community that's gonna last for years to come. What you need to do instead is, first of all, deliver value in a very specific angle, in a very different angle from the rest. And I will cover that in a different video, because that's not the point today here. But you need to just deliver value in a very specific way that indoctrinate people. You don't use the email sequences to sell. Nope, that's not correct. You don't sell. You use it to indoctrinate people, meaning get them to think what you want them to think. Oh my gosh, want them to think. Meaning, in these emails, you're just gonna be like doing something. I'm gonna show you in a second, which is like in getting to indoctrinate them. Meaning, you're gonna be teaching stuff, quote unquote teaching. You're not gonna be hard teaching or like giving them a lesson on, hey, here is how you do this stuff. You're not gonna be doing that, but at the same time, you're not gonna be pitching them and offering them a course all the time either. So you're gonna be doing something in between, which is what I call indoctrination. And indoctrination is all about quote unquote teaching people, let's say soft teaching people, while getting them to believe what you want them to believe. Meaning, if you're selling a course about, I don't know, dating, right? You're in the dating niche. You're gonna teach people how to get a girlfriend, whatever. They need to believe certain things that are gonna get them to buy. First thing, they need to believe that your course works. They need to believe that, I don't know, they don't have to be handsome for the course to work. They don't need to be like Brad Pitt for it to work, right? And they need to like believe a certain amount of things for the course, for them to actually go ahead and buy the course. So what you need to do is, first of all, figure out, hey, what are the things my audience needs to understand to buy the course? So let's say for the dating niche, right? They need to understand, that they don't need to be handsome. They need to understand the course works. They need to understand that, whatever, I don't know about this niche a lot, but it's just whatever you really like feel they need, okay? Most of the time they're actually gonna tell you. You can do some market research and you can figure this out very, very quickly. But now you just have to come up with ways to explain them, hey, you don't need to be handsome, and you make an email about that. Then you like make an email about this. You can put testimonials in this case, right? Proof overall that you do what you say you're gonna do. And you might even want to put a link to your course right there. So this is just an example, obviously. But what I mean is that, hey, you don't have to like be always selling to people. But you don't have to be like teaching them all the time either, because if you teach too much, they're not gonna buy, they're gonna get enough, and they're not gonna buy your course, right? You have to be in between. The way to be in between is by indoctrinating them. Teaching them, yes, but not teaching them hard skills. Teaching them things that are gonna get them to believe that what you need them to believe. Make sense? So, and it's the same thing I'm doing here. I'm getting you to believe that you don't need to sell. Make sense? You don't need to sell. You don't need to push people. You see like how it applies to all the areas of business. Now I'm getting you to understand, hey, you need to understand that you don't have to be pushing people. Therefore, now you're going to be more attractive to me. That same stuff you need to start applying to yourself. And you see, like, I'm all about being honest here. I'm like being open, because being honest is so important. I'm just showing you how I actually use this. I use what I'm teaching you right now. So that's important. Now, what happens? Once you have this email sequence in place, well, obviously, you just start running more ads. You go from $1,000 to, $3,000, and now you make $6,000, right? And the cool part is that now you can keep stacking sequences. You can put one, you can put a third one, you can put a fourth one, and the more sequences you put, the more money you're gonna make. Guess why? Because now, let's say you get 500 emails, right? So these 500 emails, they go through the first sequence, and at the end, let's say 8 of them buy. Now, these 500 emails, well, you have to keep emailing them, because most likely some of them are gonna buy. You put them into a second one, boom. Then you put them into a third sequence, fourth sequence, and guess what? Now you no longer have to pay $1,000 to get them, because you already got them. And pretty much everything else that comes in is profit. Everything else that comes in is profit. You make an extra $1,000, that's awesome. Then you make an extra $3,000, that's awesome. Everything is profit right there. Not like all the gurus say with the big numbers, right? But then they make $0 profit. Here's how you make the profit, right? Now you can just, spend $1,000 instead of, 1,000, and you can easily make $20,000, then another $10,000, $30,000, because it's a scale up. It's a system that is scalable. Make sense? So that's so important, because so many people just put together one thing, it works, but then they forget to put more stuff into it. So that's the important part. That is the engine. That's how you build an engine. Make sense? The gasoline gotta be very targeted, gotta be high quality people who are ready to buy. Because so many people just, target more or less their audience. That's cool. But here's the deal. There is a difference. There are 3 levels of, 3 quality of gasoline, let's say. The traffic, right? The people you're reaching out. There are 3 levels of quality, let's say. The lower level, which is totally unrelated people, like you're targeting, 80-year-old women who are interested in cats for your dating course, right? Doesn't make sense. Totally unrelated, not targeted. Okay? Not targeted. Then you have the mid-level, which is what everyone is doing right now. It's like, oh, you got to be targeted, whatever. And then, this is like now people who are like at least men, kind of interested in dating, maybe in a specific age range, whatever it is. But that's no longer enough. Like, that's not enough. If you really want to get to multiple 6 figures with your courses, you have to go to the high level of targeting, of quality, which is the hyper-targeting. Which is what I call the hyper-targeting. This is not just people interested. These are going to be people interested. This is going to be not only people who are interested, but people who are ready to buy now. Make sense? So that's important, who are ready to buy, because, so many times people just, they target more or less their audience, but here's the deal. Then they realize that even though they target the right audience, that people they targeted, they didn't have money to buy their courses, or they weren't interested at the moment on the course itself. That's why selling starts way before you meet the people. Meaning, selling starts by selecting who you talk to. And if you are talking to people who are not only interested in your topic, but have the money to buy and are ready to buy, I promise you're going to be succeeding very, very soon. Because it's just way easier to sell that way. Make sense? So those are the 3 qualities of the gasoline, the traffic, the 3 different types. And these are overall the 2 things you really need to have in place. An engine and the gasoline, high quality gasoline. With those 2 things, you're done forever. So that's pretty much it for now. If you have any questions, let me know. You have a button here. I have opened up some spots in my calendar this week to chat with some of you about your courses, kind of your businesses, put together like a plan of marketing for you all. So you're wanting to chat with me about marketing and stuff, and see if you might be a good fit to work together. You have a button here below or somewhere in this page. Feel free to go there, book your call, fill up your application, and we can talk soon. But anyways, guys, that's it for now. These are the 2 steps, the 2 key things you need, and I will see you soon. Bye.